Micron's profit growth approaching 1,000%, reports MarketWatch. This staggering growth rate reflects the massive surge in demand for memory chips used in AI training and inference. However, such high growth rates may be unsustainable, raising questions about the stock's valuation. MarketWatch highlights that Micron's year-over-year profit growth is nearing 1,000%, underscoring the explosive impact of AI demand on its financial performance. When was the last time you've seen a stock profiting 1,000%? And before I go deeper, this is Micron pre-market. It's sitting at $1,133, pre-market $1,180. As soon as the market opens, it's gonna moon. Micron will report fiscal Q3 results after the US close for March-May. Analysts expect adjusted EPS of about $20.57, roughly 1,000% year-over-year rise. Some see this as a peak in EPS growth. Analysts bigly raised Micron price targets to $1,200 to $1,300, citing about 20% DRAM NAND price gains this quarter and sustained cloud, server, and data center demand. Wall Street futures muted as investors monitor US-Iran negotiations. Micron Technologies maintained at buy by Needham. Sentiment bullish but cautious. Investors are highly optimistic about Micron's AI-driven earnings, but there is significant anxiety about whether guidance can justify the stock's already elevated valuation and whether a sell-the news event could follow. Guidance disappoints or fails to meet overly optimistic market expectations, triggering a sharp sell-off in a stock that has already rallied significantly and is priced for perfection. Top story: the AI memory supercycle appears to have long legs, with potential for Micron to reach a $1 trillion valuation as it becomes a core AI infrastructure supplier, especially with new fab construction and analyst upgrades. Follow-up: monitor the earnings report and forward guidance closely on June 24th, which is right in 2 days. Consider taking partial profits if the stock surges further, but maintain a core position given the long-term AI demand thesis. Micron earnings and PCE data to test market rally this week. These dual events are highly anticipated because they will provide insight into both the health of the tech sector driven by AI demand and the broader economic inflation trends that influence Federal Reserve policy. The outcomes could significantly impact investor sentiment and market volatility. Micron earnings likely to whip up AI frenzy, says Barron's. Analysts are concerned that an overly positive earnings reaction could lead to speculative excess in AI-related stocks, masking broader market's vulnerabilities. This article highlights that while AI demand is real, the market may be pricing in unrealistic future growth. I know, unpopular opinion for Micron investors. Micron stock climbs over 3% pre-market ahead of earnings. The upward movement reflects growing optimism about Micron's role in the AI memory supercycle. The stock has already passed $1,000 per share, and traders are positioning for a potential breakout if earnings meet or exceed expectations. Micron picks Bechtel to build historic New York chip plant. The plant is part of Micron's long-term strategy to increase domestic chip production supported by the CHIPS Act. This move positions Micron to benefit from government incentives and growing demand for memory chips used in AI and data centers. A lot of bullish news for Micron, and most of the AI chip stocks are actually mooning, but there's also a downside to it, which as a seasoned investor, I wouldn't ignore. Micron's biggest risk isn't earnings, it's guidance, says Economic Times. With Micron stock already at elevated levels, any hint of slowing demand or margin pressure in the guidance could trigger a sharp sell-off. The article underscores that the market is pricing in perfection, leaving little room for error. Please pay attention to the last sentence here. If there's any error or discrepancy in their earnings, there could be a massive correction. Micron earnings could mark turning point for memory stocks. Memory stocks have been volatile, but Micron's dominance in high bandwidth memory, HBM, for AI accelerators could set a positive tone. A strong report may lead to broader sector re-rating. Emerging signals: AI memory supercycle may still be in early stages. Dev2 article highlights that the AI memory supercycle could have significant runway left as cloud providers and enterprises continue to invest in AI infrastructure. This suggests ongoing revenue upside for Micron beyond the immediate earnings report. Micron and SK Hynix approaching $1 trillion milestone together. This suggests that the memory sector is being revalued by the market, with both major players benefiting from AI demand. It points to a duopoly that could sustain high margins and pricing power. UBS triples Micron target, sees $1 trillion valuation potential. This bullish call from a major institution indicates that analysts see Micron transitioning from a cyclical memory supplier to a growth stock tied to AI megatrends. If realized, this would represent massive upside from current levels. UBS raised its price target for Micron to $1,625. Let that sink in. Alright, so what's the biggest risk here? If Micron's forward guidance fail to justify the stock's current high valuation, potentially triggering a sharp sell-off. The Economic Times article explicitly warns that the true risk lies in forward guidance, which could disappoint if it doesn't support the recent rally, as the market is pricing in perfection, leaving little room for error. Additionally, Barron's notes that a strong earnings report could reignite an AI frenzy, leading to speculative excess, masking broader market vulnerabilities. The combination of extreme profit growth nearing 1,000% and a stock already above $1,000 leaves Micron highly exposed to any hint of slowing demand or margin pressure in its outlook. And before I end, I want to add this too. Regulatory filing costs and complexity for smaller players. Multiple investment firms recently filed information table forms indicating ongoing compliance overhead. For companies like Micron, dealing with many such filers adds administrative friction, persistent inflation risk for tech capex. The consumer price index remained high for Micron, which requires massive capital expenditure for DRAM and NAND fabrication plants. Higher for longer rates directly increase financing costs and may compress margins. Ladies and gents, and my investor friends, are you holding Micron? Buying, selling? Let me know in the comments. This is all I have in today's grid report. I'll see you in the next one.